What's up, Entre Nation? Jeff Lerner here. The difference between those who are obsessive about a goal and devote the focus and energy to it and everyone else is that most people are stuck in reaction mode. And this is also true for our use of time. Think about it. How much time is used up on social media, Netflix, or even just texting a friend? How many times a day do we go to start a piece of work, but then we let some distraction take us over? Well, today we're going to move from procrastination to productivity using some simple hacks for good time management and epic focus. So go ahead, while you're at it, hit that like button below, subscribe to this channel. So today I want to show you ways to be more productive and hopefully convince you that more time spent does not always equal more work done. Having intense focus is a superpower in our distracted world. Starting each day with as little as an hour or two of focused effort will bring you compounding returns over time. Instead of developing a clear plan, most people simply deal with situations and issues as they arise, and they never really get ahead. Most people's focus is so dispersed that energy can never flow directly toward achieving their big goal. And while they may still reach small goals or accomplish small tasks, most people never get what they really want. And I know you're committed to learning about doing more and doing it better, so let's get started here. Step number one is to take great care of yourself. Are you sleeping too little or too much? Whether you choose to rise early or work late and sleep in, either way, getting enough rest is so important for your focus and your concentration. And too little sleep causes the feeling of exhaustion, and too much causes the feeling of lethargy. So check in and figure out what's the optimal amount for you. Personally, I get between 6 and 6.5 hours of sleep. If I get more than that, I feel tired. If I get less than that, I feel tired. Another thing you can do is take up meditation. You might say, well, I'm just too busy to just sit and meditate. But meditation has many powerful outcomes, including feeling more at peace, being able to focus for longer periods of time. And when you can focus for longer periods of time, even if you say, well, I didn't have enough time to meditate, it's actually like creating more time. In my experience, meditation gives the sensation of creating more time than it costs. And it's possible to train your brain to actually learn how to concentrate better. Meditation also helps your overall sense of well-being and helps you turn those feelings of I can't into I can. And being positive is essential for you and your business. And let's talk exercise. How good do you feel after a good run? I know I feel amazing, and it's because adrenaline and endorphins, the happy chemicals, are released into your body, which makes you feel more productive, more energized, more focused, and more ready to take on challenges. And if running isn't your thing, maybe say it hurts your joints. I know if I run too much, my hip kind of starts to hurt. I sound like an old man, but it is what it is. Well, get yourself a spin bike. Personally, I love my Peloton. Now let's look at what you eat and when you eat. Obviously, food is the gas in your tank, but how you process the food has a huge impact on your productivity. For example, the feel-good foods that contain a bunch of sugar, they're going to give you a rush, and then they're going to give you a crash that follows not long after. Usually within 1 hour of eating a bunch of sugar, you're going to feel tired. And also, eating a heavy meal, just eating too much, takes time to digest, pulls the blood into your stomach, and it'll also cause you to feel tired even when you've had plenty of sleep. So when 3 p.m. comes around and you start thinking about a chocolate bar, make the healthy choice and go for something like nuts, maybe some carrots or celery to snack on, something that's not going to spike your blood sugar or be too hard on your body to digest. And the second thing we're going to look at is finding your optimal time to work. We all have moments during the day when we're naturally more energetic and productive than other times. So if you can schedule your focus time during those times when you're naturally feeling more energized, well, then you're naturally going to get more out of them. So ask yourself, when do I work the best? Are you a morning person or maybe a night person? We all have different factors that determine when we're the most productive. Personally, I chunk my time into 3 blocks: morning, afternoon, and evening. And that gives me 3 optimal time chunks that I can focus on getting at least one major task done. A lot of people, they take the evenings off. They say, oh, evenings are for Netflix, evenings are for family tasks. But consider though, is there something you're doing that could be cut out or maybe switched to create more production time. For me, I know that I can be really productive in the evening, so I've worked out with my family that certain days of the week, I'm gonna use that for productive time. It's not just an assumption that that block of time doesn't exist for work, because it's literally a third of all my available time chunks. Okay, and number 3, give yourself the right conditions to do good work. Having the right working conditions is essential, as it helps you create a sense of routine. And if you haven't done so already, it is time to create your ideal space to work. Make sure you're in an environment that allows you to focus. And this means finding a quiet, uncluttered space to keep you energized and motivated. Remove the things that are easy to access that will take your attention away. This could be your phone, this could be video games, this could even just be your to-do list. Physically, put it far away from you so it's not in your field of view. And also, you need to make sure that you're blocking or removing internal distractions. These are the things that you distract yourself with mentally, like feeling the urge to check social media or watch the news or even check your email. And the thing to understand is it's not enough to rely on willpower for this. Try leveraging external tools. Try using an app, for example, that forces you to focus. There are a few different ones, depending if you're on iOS or Android. Just search your app store or search the Play Store. The next step is to create routines. Habits are one of life's strongest forces. Honestly, you'll never be better than your habits. Everything can be created as a ritual, whether it's brushing your teeth, doing your exercise, taking the dog for a walk, hanging out with your family. The more tasks that you can turn into habitual routines, the more energy that you have left for bigger tasks that require more creativity and more mental energy. As the Harvard Business Review notes, we have a limited amount of willpower. Honestly, willpower is a finite resource and it depletes over the course of the day. So be sure you're minimizing the amount of willpower that you need to get you through your day by implementing good routines and structuring as many of your daily tasks as possible to fit within repetitive routines. Okay, and the 4th step here is to choose a daily highlight. Let me explain what that means. With the right time and environment for focus, now it's time to decide what deserves my attention. The goal here is to use your highest energy, peak productivity hours to make real progress on your most important work. So choose a specific chunk of time and focus on the most important task first during that time. And use what's called the Pareto principle. This is something Tim Ferriss talks about in the 4-Hour Work Week. You put your focus on the 20% of your tasks that are going to give you 80% of your results. What you choose to spend your time on should be important and meaningful. That way, if the rest of the day gets eaten up by meetings, calls, or fires that you have to put out, urgent items, then you can look back on that one window of time and know that you got something important done that day. And when considering what's important for your day, think of these options. First of all, is it time sensitive? What needs to get done right now or has been nagging at you for a while? Second, is it satisfying? What do you really want to get done that'll make you feel accomplished at the end of the day? So if that's the only thing you get done all day, you still feel like you had an effective day. And then joyfulness. What's going to make you truly feel good and happy in doing the work? Okay? And then step number 5 is to ditch once and for all the idea of multitasking. Multiple studies, including one that used actual MRI brain scans that was conducted at the University of Michigan, shows that effective multitasking is a complete myth. It's a lie. The brain, yes, can switch tasks quickly, but too much switching totally decreases concentration and dramatically increases our number of mistakes. There is a huge difference between a solid 2 or 3 hours of focused time and a collection of 5 or 10 minute chunks between what we consider urgent tasks. When your day is a fragmented mess, you are setting yourself up for failure. Please hear me on this. I see this in the coaching that I do. It's one of the biggest saboteurs that people do with themselves. Is they've got themselves convinced they can multitask. When you're multitasking, your limited time is contaminated by a few things. It's contaminated first by context switching, which basically says that bouncing between, let's say, your inbox and your current task, just the switching back and forth actually makes everything take up to 20% longer and reduces productivity by that same 20%. Next is what they call attention residue. Basically, our brain cannot switch tasks on a dime. It takes up to 23 minutes to regain focus after being interrupted. That's one of the reasons it's so important to create concentrated time and dedicated space. Literally being interrupted, whatever time the interruption takes, go ahead and tack on an additional up to 23 minutes is how long it takes for your attention to fully reorient back to the task. That's that attention residue from the interruption. And then there's what we call productivity shame. Listen to this, we spend 46.9% of our days, almost half the day, thinking about something other than what we're actually doing. Even as I'm shooting these videos right now, technically, I'm spending half my time either thinking about something else or trying to defend myself against the impulse to think about something else. It's like this human disease that we all have, and it absolutely destroys our productivity. Splitting attention like this makes everything take longer, and there's this shame or this stress associated with knowing that you're not as productive as you could be. On the other hand, if you can just learn to dedicate 1 to 2 hours of your day to intense focus. I'm talking just 1 to 2 hours of your day where you don't allow productivity shame, you don't allow attention residue, and you don't allow context switching. If you can just create 1 to 2 hours of space for that every day, you will get a massive compound return on your investment. In fact, you'll get more out of those 1 to 2 hours a day than most people get out of 8 to 16 hours a day. There's a book called The Rise of Superman by Steven Kotler, and in it he found that executives are up to 500% more productive when they can create that state of intense focus that I'm talking about. 5 times more productive. That means, again, 1 hour of being like this, you'll get more done than most people get done in an 8-hour distracted day. So to take advantage of this increase in productivity, you need to figure out 2 things. When is the best time for you to focus, and how are you going to protect that time? Thinking that you're going to somehow create this 100% focus for an entire day is naive. Frankly, it's insane. It's never going to happen. You simply need to accept the limitations of your schedule and your life and your own attention and your own willpower, and then optimize your day around finding that 1 to 2 hour block when you can be intensely focused. And here are 3 quick things that can help you get more organized with your time and create this window in your day. First of all, use time chunks. This means that whatever you choose to spend that 1 or 2 hours on, that time needs to be sacred. It needs to be respected. It needs to be blocked off. If you work with a team, make sure to block out your calendar and don't let your team or anyone interrupt you. Don't take meetings. Don't take calls. True productivity is doing the right thing at the right time in the right place. So you have to allow yourself that space. Then always maintain a prioritized list so that at any given time, if you realize that you have one of those windows, you can immediately look and see, okay, what should I focus my time on? By having a list of everything that needs to be done, with the most important projects first, you're always set up for success. And checking off tasks is hugely satisfying when you know that they were the most important tasks. And then you also make sure that nothing gets forgotten. And then the next thing is handle papers and emails immediately. This is something I like to do where I create time and space, a dedicated time in the day when everything that's come in, I just go knock it out. And by forcing yourself to take action on, whether it's papers or, letters or mail or emails, again, physical or digital correspondence or communication, then you avoid having it pile up into an overwhelming mass because there's a certain type of stress associated with having a giant pile of stuff you need to go through. So make it a goal to handle those things as often as possible, maybe at least once a day. Just get it off the list. Step number 6, we got a big list here. Step number 6 is to listen to your body. Don't just be a slave to the clock. And here we've been talking about using this 1 to 2 hour window as our guide for this process. That is not a rule that's set in stone. Forcing yourself to work when you're losing your focus and your energy can lead to burnout. Instead, you want to protect your focus by giving yourself time to recuperate and trying to maintain that focus when you're feeling your best. And this comes from listening to your body and, like we talked about earlier, taking care of your body, giving yourself a body and an energy supply so that your best is actually really, really great, and then utilizing your best, but listening to your body for when your best is and not just watching the clock. According to sleep researcher Nathaniel Kleitman, our minds naturally crave breaks after every 90 minutes of intense work. And when we need a break, our bodies start sending us signals. We start to get hungry, start to get sleepy, we start to fidget, we start to lose focus. So listen to those signs and take that quick 5 or 10 minute break you need. Get up, walk around, stretch, grab some water, do something to reset your energy. And if you want to give yourself even more structure, you can also follow a strategy that I've tried and I've had great results with called the Pomodoro technique. This is where you work in very specific stretches of 25 minutes, followed by a 5-minute break. Again, something like Oro is great for this. You string 4 of those together in a row, that's a 2-hour block, and you are guaranteed to have an insanely productive day. Finally, step number 7 here is to work your day around your personal productivity curve. So basically, you figure out what your most focused window is going to be, and then you say, well, what am I going to do with the rest of my day? Well, completing your daily highlight during the focus window ensures that you get to spend the whole day feeling accomplished. But it doesn't mean you have to stop there. Use the rest of your time to make progress on urgent tasks, catch up on communication, get through those papers and emails that I talked about. You can still be massively productive outside of those focused hours, but the goal is to commit to the focused hours every single day. You know, I've coached hundreds of people over the last decade, and from my experience, most people are capable of so much more than they realize if they just get a really clear vision, learn to stay focused, and concentrate. It is worth the time to create good boundaries, and that means saying no to people and anything that's going to distract you or is not in alignment with your goals. And then write out your commitments for your daily practice, and then follow through with it. Okay? If you like this video and you want to get notified when new videos are released, I'll invite you, please subscribe to this channel. Make sure you hit the notification bell. I hope you can implement some of what we've learned today by blocking out some dedicated hours of focus, stop multitasking, turn off distractions, write out your plan, and then follow through on the best ways to take care of yourself. You are your greatest asset. Okay, thanks for your time. Take care, stay focused. I'll catch you on the next video.